regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at hand.
Well, good morning once again. This is Issues at Hand. Edrine Mukalazi is my name, and of course, we continue with what we had earlier here in the Talk of Town. We are still talking about business in the downtown. Of course, there are very many outcries. People are still lamenting and crying. We can never understand exactly what they are going through, or you might never understand exactly what they go through until you are part of them or until you hear their pain. Now, this morning, we want to derive into the details of what is the state of business currently downtown, because up to yesterday, some buildings were still being drained. So we do not know whether business is back to normal. Or someone was showing me a video this morning, and when they saw someone picking their clothes, they thought maybe this person was picking rubbish, only to realize these were clothes that had been destroyed by the floods on that fateful morning of Friday. But with us is Kenneth Kaweesi, who is an executive member from the United Attire Traders Association, UATA. We have UATA because when you look at the most a category of people who are most affected are people into the attires, and of course when you look at those buildings around that were affected, these the people in there are people who deal mostly in attires, and of course he's here with us to share with us and tell us how business is currently at downtown. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to be here on Family TV today, and I hope what's happening downtown there will maybe be treated as it should be, because there's a lot of suffering, and I know there's now a current lockdown. People have decided not to open up their shops because it seems nobody is caring and nobody is showing up to assist. That garbage collection you've just talked about, people are doing it using their own money. There's no government intervention, there's no state authority intervention, except KACITA, which is our umbrella, because United Attire Traders Association fall under KACITA, and we are in the umbrella. So, by the name of Kaweesi Kenneth, the executive member of UATA, which is United Attire Traders Association, I'm very pleased to be here. We are pleased, and starting from what you've just talked about, just shedding a light, because we know the rains happened at around dawn, at around 4, 5, and so people only came to town to this to shed us a leaf of how the situation was on Friday. I think we'll be very grateful that this flooding happened during at night or the early morning hours of the morning. Otherwise, if traders were there inside their shops, and you know how traders love their businesses, yes, majority of could have been witnessed some fatalities, because so many people could have stayed hoping, because the rate at which water is accumulating in the valley there is not equal to the rate at which it's being drained away through the natural drainage channel due to the constructions which are taking place. I think that's the only problem. We've been having floods there, but it could happen. It's just could take even 3 hours just get some little water inside your shop. But now this way the entire basements were filled up, and nobody could above human height. So now if it had happened during daytime or during working hours, and this rate, the water is coming so much, it's not leaving, because the construction, they have made some blockages to avoid affecting their construction, and I don't know what would have happened. But anyway, to our supplies, when we came early in the morning, we saw those people operating down basement. For them, they never recovered anything. These one who are operating on the ground floor,
some of them experience, I think, 4 feet high water. Maybe for those who are displaced, which were above ceilings, they could save some few clothing. But as you look downtown, we always pile our stuff on the ground, on the floor, because storage charges are high. Because a store could cost as much as a big shop, $1 million, 1.5. They are not small stores. So people prefer to pile up their stock. Even one person asked me, how do you dig into all this? Because you sit on top of it, how do you know? Just we know. We just arrange accordingly. You know, informal business always has this problem. But I know next soon, again, if it rains again, I don't see any ways of blocking it, because once the drainage channel is not taking as much as the water is coming down, definitely all the remaining water will simply go into people's shops.
Yesterday, the council meeting at KCCA came up with a resolution to halt the construction that is going on at the drainage channel. Do you think this is a solution to the problem if it rained tomorrow or the other day? Do you think this is a solution to curb this?
It could, but already the speed at which construction has been taking place, almost the entire valley from Chiseka Market up to maybe the former Owino around their park yard, is so concrete. So, and that's the center of flooding. Because water comes from upstream, Olumu Street, Nakaselo, Arua Park, all goes in that small corridor. Maybe halting construction could help if engineers could find a way how they could block this water from coming this side of the buildings. I think that could make some sense. But again, constructing again, they are still squeezing the channel downstream where they are going. Again, it's confusing, because a friend of mine told me, why don't you tell these guys to speed up and then they open up the drainage system? Because they said that they blocked some sewage system, because it was inconveniencing their construction. Remember, all these sewage lines all go down stream to Nachivo channel, and they run parallel with the channel. So during the excavation, I think most of the pipes were dug up, and now these constructors, they had to block these things. And during any water flowing is completely blocked. Speeding up construction could save. Stopping construction, again, I don't see any stopping, because as we speak now, they are constructing. I don't know, but I would suggest if engineers could find a solution, because once the water hits the constructed channel, it simply bounces off and goes into people's shop. Maybe should concentrate on blocking water coming back, and then it stays maybe in the street as it brings away slowly, because the rate at which it's running away is really almost less than 10% compared to before the construction was started. So I don't know why everybody is silent. I think that's why KACITA and the Lord Mayor plus this started to voice out. Otherwise, if engineers could come down and realize that what we are doing is causing some damages to people's properties, and even those buildings are not safe once they are overflooded to that extent. Imagine the entire basement floor filled up to the ceiling. You don't think this structure must be compromised somehow. But these recommendations were put forward not by engineers, by KACITA, whatever, and the State Council. Hopefully, the physical planning engineers and the technical service guys from KC could come up with some final report. These are cries, these are desperate cries, hopefully, because if you stop construction, concrete is as high as maybe 6 feet now. They are now starting to lay the first floor. Again, I don't see any sign of understanding the traders' cries and the development partners or the harm construction, whatever. You
talked about the lockdown,
yes.
Because at some point, someone would say, after all the business is lost. All the merchandise I had to sell is lost. So someone would say, probably this is the reason you're closing, because you do not have what to sell, apparently. What is driving this lockdown?
The lockdown is primarily coming from the continuous engagement we've been having with the minister with the URA the Prime Minister's office, and lastly, the President. 2025 has been very complicated. Come to traders. URA is armed with a lot of information about importation, taxation, up to our shops. Now, they're using that information to collect as much tax as possible. But they have limited information about the nature of our business. Remember, this is an informal sector which doesn't have any government protection, no social security, no regulation, and our retirement, our maternity benefit, all is packed in that thing we do. School fees, housing, this is not regulated by government. But again, URA wants to tax us as if it's it's an organized business. So in so doing, after meeting the president promised some feedback, of which is too busy, and the lockdown, just flooding, rent, street vendors, there's so many. Once you go down there, there's a chaos. So now people are saying that those who are in shops, let's lock down our businesses, hear from the big guys. If they are going to solve some of our problems, kilogram taxes, imported duty 35%, there is UNBS, clothes, have to have expiry testing equipment, you have to pay a lot of money, failure to do that, where you're importing from, you must face penalties, 15% of your CIF, and then surcharges, you have to incur testing charges, and you must write out check bond in case your goods don't qualify testing, then they must be destroyed. It's a lot of things. So these traders, flooding came as a trigger, an icing on the cake. Otherwise, we've been fighting, we've been engaging URA, from Commissioner General, Commissioner Customs, then to Minister of Trade, then Finance to Parliament to, until somebody told us, it's the big man. All this you are suffering from the electives of the big man. And the same thing, the harm construction, the elective of the big man. So that means if we could maybe seek his audience and also he realizes, I think there's nowhere to run.
We've seen the traders in several engagements with, especially the Prime Minister.
Yes.
There was a time you convened at Wubos Auditorium,
yes.
And I mean several engagements. Haven't they yielded? Because I thought when you meet the Prime Minister, probably she can be your mouthpiece to the big man when you can't meet him.
Yeah, that's our hope. She created a group, a committee of 3 URA officials and the 3 KACITA members, and they had to combine a report normally about the delays. But then we're going to the Prime Minister, to complain about the delays. There's a lot of bureaucracy in the URA. You bring a container, you scan, reaches to the bond, you must comply to this. Your documents, there's the NAI, there's intelligence, there's enforcement, there's the system, there is the beams, so much. So now, after the report was compiled, we thought that these people of VRA should have forwarded it to the Prime Minister's office. To our surprise, the Prime Minister told us she has never received the report. And now we say, now how are we going to solve it? Because we have our problems. And we don't talk regularly with the government officials or the cabinet. We thought the Prime Minister could take our issues and then at least speed up, relax some strict measures in importation, because the economy is not good worldwide. We all know. Now that never materialized. So a friend of ours who had connection with State House, a trader, connected, we had a meeting with the president, KACITA, it's United Traders Association. We met the president, and the president also promised to, that was I think 19th, the president promised to help us to look into our issues, that he did not know that these kilogram taxes were not as he expected. Because the president of Uganda asked the East African community to use the kilogram method of taxing garments of a particular type, t-shirts, vests, sweaters, jumpers, and build Uganda, buy Uganda, build Uganda, protecting his infant industries. But again, to his surprise, there is no much has been gained by these industries along that line. Otherwise, a lot of businesses have died off along that way, because you cannot pay kilogram tax. You can't pay $3.5 per kilogram, and you find that doesn't, just 3 pieces of shirts or 2 jackets are enough to make a kilogram. So all our grievances initially have been with URA. Now of recent, we have street vendors, we have landlord. They ignore the law and they increase as they want rent. The law says should be 10% in a period of a year. For them, they want to increase almost every month, irrespective of the percentage. We have power, the issue of power downtown. You find a room like this, you must be charged 300,000 per month, 200,000 per month. Now we're saying, where is the regulation? Some of you who did physics, they could tell that 6 bulbs consume maybe 1 kilowatt per hour, like that. Now, the street vendors, people, if you go down, you can't even locate the arcade you are looking for because the capital authority, they decide these guys must be on the street. We said, okay, let them be there in the evening hours, but from early morning, they are there. So now these are internal matters, which we thought KACITA and other organizations could address. So the lockdown has so many things. Although this flooding has made it worse because it's almost 12 arcades from Shamba Complex to Sekaziga, somewhere there, almost 20 arcades. Those with basement, whatever, the underground arcades, they all got filled up. And these shops were piled with a lot of merchandise, with goods, even hard cash. People had dollars. Stained, cannot be accepted anywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the assessment will be done in case there's compensation, as it was recommended by KACITA and in the Lord Mayor's office. I don't know how evidence collection will be done. I hear a certain group of people have already gone to court to sue, make NEMA, Kampala City, KCCA, and then
Kata and UNATA.
For them, they went. I don't know, because these people are too smart. You must have evidence. Flooding have been there, so what is this? How this is unique? I heard the statements of Kampala yesterday saying that flooding happened all over Uganda, all over Kampala. And how are you pinning this to the construction? Very arrogantly. They said the construction has contributed. The flow of water is not as it used to be. So it accumulates faster than you could realize. If it rained within 2 minutes, you see water is rising up to your knees. And for him, he's brushing it off as cheap talk, which is annoying because people's lives, people are in loans. I just don't know. We need some good people.
So you talked about street traders, and there's been an outcry of manufacturers also operating as retailers. Has this been addressed? Because that was one of the reasons you even had to meet the president somewhere in Kololo. Besides IFRIS, this was also something also at the front. So has this been handled? Are the manufacturers still operating retail businesses?
There are many. The Chinese are there. There are those from Sino Industrial Park, Ambali, Genius. They have their shops there at Capital. There are those who are making stretchers. There are those who are selling woofers, blenders. They are assembling them, maybe Kapeka. They are coming. This chain of trade, I don't know why, but you've told our people that manufacturers should be there and maybe get agents. Again, it goes back to the big man. These are his people. These are my people. These are investors. You are messing with my investors, like that. And that all of them are guarded by military guys with the new AK machine guns. Those people. But we've worked with them. But again, we realize after buying from him, you put your shop to retail. Again, even this retailer could go to him and also he buys like a dozen. And then you feel it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. They could follow Kakira how it works. You go to Kakira, you must buy a full roll of sugar. Then you reach somewhere in Kampala, you say to some people who are going to Mitiana, maybe a small roll, like that. But again, seems all these are lying dead here.
So someone would really see, is it the pricing that now becomes the problem? Because someone would say, okay, what problem is it? If someone can't reach your shop and they can access this, how bad is that?
The price information, you see profits normally generated out of some kind of ignorance. If the manufacturer is next to you and he says, I'm selling a sack of 200 dozens and I'm giving you at 200,000 per dozen. And and then you labor, you get your 200 dozens, you put in your shop. Actually now I'm somehow like a wholesaler, not the last consumer. And then consumers realize that this guy can save in 1 dozen. For them, you are charging them 100 and 220, and for him, because already can sell 200 with you taking big bulk, you could just tell them, okay, you give me 205. And then that distortion kicks you out of the game, because you also have rent, you have power, you have income tax, you have license. After accumulating all these expenses, that's how we calculate the end, how we are going to price our goods. And then you realize, since I'm buying from you and you are guaranteed that I'm buying from you, why don't you stay in Namambe or in Mbale or in T, and we get one distributor here, or we gather like a traders, 10 traders, we raise our 200 millions, we give you, so you keep supplying us as we also add on some little profit to survive, because that's the mode that our trade should be done in organized societies. But again here, people again use the big man, because whenever somebody tells you it's from above, it means rules must be bent. That's what's happening in our home construction. The president said there's an opportunity here. Assist this guy have constructed, which is a good idea, because me, I hate it to see when the street guys are jumping down the drain like that. But again, in the process, I know rules were bent. NEMA, physical planning, KCCA, environment, like that, rules were bent. But how much they were bent is now the question. You can't rush to court, because from the start go, rules were meant to be bent. I'm telling you, do this. That's why we've been seeking his audience, his excellence, but he's too busy. Now I understand. We are saying, let him stop, suspend the activities for now. Finish up with these campaigns. Go back in office. Then it's a click of a button with these computers. If you are a kilogram tax, tell IT guys suspend it. Let these traders have some breathing space. If it's construction, they could say that these people flooding are there. Maybe fire brigade must have a standby trucks to drain away this water. So they are not giving alternatives, and they are not even tackling the problem face on. I think that's our concern. We're saying, when will this end? Yes, the Chinese are here. The Indians are hawking the loudspeakers. And now we are saying, okay, the hawkers are coming from all parts of Kampala. When you reach border guys, it's hard to say. But as a trader, you wouldn't like to step in somebody's business. Border guy, you go many places, you find there are more borders than there are passengers. And these guys are parked there. Then somebody say, I wanted somebody to come there and buy from you. However, the congestion there, I had a small bag, I had my kid from the school, I just had to jump into a taxi and disappear. So there's so many factors, because this is informal. And these guys, when it comes to taxation, they are taxing us as if they regulate the entire thing. But we have our losses. People in banks, the flow of business is really crippled. Now, the Chinese are there, well guarded, the hawkers, then flooding, they are landlords. They used to be traders as well, but now they are also very tricky. We say, no, government, you talk to these big guys. Because the moment you raise your finger, the office will simply send you a note, 2 months, we no longer need you. And when it comes to suffering, you suffer alone. I think that's the psychology of most Ugandans. Why am I laboring? Because at the end of the day, it will be me suffering alone. After the exit, the moment the landlord pins you, Mr. Mukalazi, you have a problem on my arcade. I'm going to do some renovation. The laws are there. 2 months notice. You must pay him, leave.
No question.
No, you cannot.
So talking about landlords, still traders striked of recent over landlords. Where the grievances settled, traders had with the landlords, including increasing the rent, but also there was a question of why we should pay rent in dollars and not our national currency.
Down there are about 10 landlords. There's Chandwe, there's Drake, there is Sebalamo, there is Yanga, there's so many. So now each one behaves differently by nature. So those people we are writing, we all think of Chitandwe, the one who had increased. There is Daudi, he increased but smartly. He was for the law was there 10%, but if you could resist it, he could tell you, no, I'm giving you too much notice. I wouldn't like you to do business where it's not profitable. Because if you cannot afford rent, that means your business is not making any profits. So now these people treat you differently. When one is misbehaving, the other one is so good and very cunning. The moment you finish with him, even the one who thought he's so good, he also saturates document vouchers about his increment. So it's hard to unite as the entire group down there. So you hear, energy center, they're in trouble. Increment 30%. And this landlord have a technique. You came here looking for a shop or a place, you came alone. We're in a group. So that individual handling disintegrates the entire group. Because you come, someone says, okay, for you no problem, your shop is small. For you, okay, I need that shop. If you're feeling bad. So in this intimidation and that psychological treatment, you find everybody going different directions. Wake up today, ganged up to face him. By the time you leave his office, everybody is just, I'm going back. So this again is informal sector. No regulations, no contracts. We don't have contracts. So you cannot challenge somebody. Even Drake once said, me, I constructed my arcade to raise chicken. You came around saying, no, boss, we are going to do business here, and now you're complaining. Arrogant, because there is no contract. So an informal sector, which is taxed as a formal sector, really, nobody has a contract down there. No. If he says I need dollars, like in Mukwano, pay dollars. If he says I need upfront, pay December, you pay December. Otherwise, there are so many people lying behind you. Even those shops you saw under construction, you may be supplied that 90% of those shops are already booked.
A revelation came yesterday that as the buzz are still just being raised, people are already paying
80%.
We are taking a short commercial break, and of course, when we return, we shall continue with the conversation. Stick with us.
Issues at hand. Issues at hand.
Welcome back from that commercial break. This is Issues at Hand, and we are looking at the disaster that our brothers, our parents, our relatives are facing in downtown. I was saying earlier that for someone who works around Kampala Road, you might not feel this exactly until when you take Loom Street up to some space around Mokwano, Arcade, Mini Price, and then crossing back to the areas of Sekaziga, Sunset, and all those spaces there. That is when Pentagon, French Plaza, those are the places that most affected. And of course, when we talk about a flooding that occurs occasionally, this is the first time we are experiencing this. We've seen roads flood and all that, but shops flooding is something strange. So with us is Mr. Kaweesi Kenneth, who is an executive member of UATA, United Attire Traders Association. And of course, we are talking about this because we realize that this is one of the most affected association when we talk about especially the floods that happened of recent. So, Mr. Kaweesi, as we continue with this conversation, before the break, we had talked about the taxing and all that. So someone would really now say, what should we call for? What is your call to action? What do you want to achieve in this lockdown? Because you admitted that, yeah, indeed, the only person who can come to help is busy. He's busy. And so elections will be on the 15th, so the campaigns might end around 12th January. So are you closing the shops up to that time? What? Because we are getting into a season. This is especially for you people in attires. This is we are getting into the season where people are buying Christmas clothes and all that. So should we assume that these shops are going to be closed till around 12th January, when the president is now ready to come and settle and listen to some of these grievances?
Now, the president is a very tricky guy. And as a president, wherever he is, he always carries his office with him, whether it's in Gulu, whether it's in Eastern Uganda, whether in Kampala, whether in Entebbe. So our humble request is simple. We had our 4 major reasons. First of all, the kilogram taxes, which really 100% is in his hands. He's the one who asked for it in the East African customs, whatever. We have the 35% import duty, yet our neighbors have 25, like Kenya. Many Congolese pass here and they go to Kenya. They do business better than here. That's not good for us. Although we have build Uganda, buy Uganda. But again, still also need the other guys. And now we have another issue, which was the Chinese, the investors who are selling as retailers. This again is a call away, because the president knows the people to call. And he has admitted that this is my project, I'm building this. And these guys, the IT guys, they have an IT department, you can say suspend this. They can suspend you within a minute. Because we are not asking for so much, but we are telling them, you revise the entire scheme. You gather a lot of information on the other side, but where we are and the way we are conducting business is terrible. So long as we could get some feedback, the report which was given the Prime Minister through the Commissioner General URA, Mr. John Musinguzi, and the Easy Customs, Commissioner of Customs, Haji Asadu, I think the report is there. And the Prime Minister is not too busy. I've talked to her so many times. She could engage the President even via call. That these people we are suffering. We are suffering for sure. And this HAM project, again, is the president. I don't think somebody can come around and say, you see, even these ministers were all defending it proper. But yet they know the truth, that they tempered with the natural flow of water. It was an open channel. Now it's concrete. Somehow it contributed. And nobody's saying, nobody's admitting that. And the people who had losses, and they are stranded. Somebody even bragged and said, how are you going to collect evidence? You've already cleaned your clothes. You know, a trader is like a mother. You can't see your child crying around and they say, no, let me wait for the police officers to come. You rush, come, pick your clothes, take home, wash, clean, save some of it. But again, that becomes an incompetence in the light or in the face of the law, because they say, we are the exhibits. So we are not saying that we will strike forever, but again, through hardship and harassment, we would try our best to push it as long as it takes. So until these people reconsider our position, until these people put themselves into our shoes, that's all we ask for. We are not rebellious, we are not anti the campaign, we are not of red, yellow, blue. No, we are just saying 2025 has been horrible economically, worldwide. But again, you are bragging to have tax, the smartest, in a very fluent way of taxing. You're saying, no, the people who are supposed to pay back the taxes who paid it to you, like the consumers always they say, they can't afford the pricing. So all you need to do, you cut the price and that becomes your loss. So our complaint is not the economy. These people who have economic evaluation, the indicators, the Ngobi Minister for what, they know that the economy is not doing well. It's not doing well in terms of consumption and money in circulation. But again, they are taxing us as if we are in paradise. So we are calling upon the big man, and again the people who can really talk to him, because they are his friends who call him at midnight, who can even insult him. We plead with these guys, that people, much as KCCA or much as KACITA and other organizations, we have tried all avenues, humble, in a decent way. You talk to us, URA. They always, we talk to them. Right now, you can't import goods from February, March. Oh no, minor mistake, and you hold somebody's goods up to October. That's not business, because business is time. Business is, the quicker you come to the market, the better. Could business turnover? If you could sell more and you go back, and for the frequency makes business prosper. You can't say, I can bring goods in January and go back in December. That's not business. You need to sell in January. By February, you have a new consignment. And even you could understand. But in a simple mistake, you are penalized and you're supposed to go back and rewrite the system. If it's WT8, if it's amendment, and everything is done by computers, of which we don't know much. And then these guys, you employ the agents, the companies, also they have their tricks. So their mistake goes straight into your pocket as the trader. You say, I don't know how to file, I don't know how to capture entries. But again, if there is a mistake by my agent, I think shouldn't be, even the agent must be held responsible. No, Mr. Mukalazi doesn't know how to capture this into our system. For us, you are licensed and you are trained. So we call upon everybody who knows the authorities, because even URA, they tell you, when you go to Castle URA, they will tell you, you go to Minister of Trade. You fall under Minister of Trade. It's the one passing these policies. You go to Trade tells you, no. It's finance. Because finance articulates how much money they will need to run the government. They set out the budget, and these are the people who are imposing all this upon you. And remember, factories, most of these factories are in tax holidays. They are not paying. And even Commissioner URA said, these people are not giving me money. It's you traders. Now they are using contradicting philosophies. The president doesn't want importers. But again, the Commissioner General of URA tells you, it's importers who are paying me quick money. Now, the number of importers is dwindling. Yet he wants more taxes from this small number which is left. So that's where the irony is. He said, no, let's iron out. If it's in Nightingale or Fine Spinners or Phoenix, let every trader buys from them what they are selling, and then give him a chance to go and import what they don't. Because I've told you, jerseys for you, cranes. No factory is making these cranes, but when you see people on TikTok, TVs wearing them, you feel that pride. You got it. Now, somebody imports these jerseys at Alua Park here. He's penalized for bringing t-shirts because Nike is producing a certain type of t-shirt, which is not the one he has brought. No. But because it's a t-shirt. And they say, even if I don't bring Uganda, Arsenal, Manchester, blah, blah, then how does Nike going to fill this gap of customers? Because you see so many people wearing these t-shirts, and they look very nice. They make us proud. You find guys are being tortured. 2.5 US dollars per kilo, that's imported duty. You put on VAT 18%, you put on withholding taxes 6%, infrastructure levy, then other penalties. If you made a mistake and imitated Nike or Adidas, put it there, we don't have any contract with Adidas. You are like, it will grab you by the throat. These are brands. Pay like it's New York. You put a smoker logo, Timberland. You say, for sure, we just imitate, trying to sell this idea to our people so that they could enjoy. This Arsenal, Manchester, these are bland. So you find that most of now clothing you see, they have some funny Chinese characters, just to avoid that punish. When you ask around, who is sponsoring us? Does Nike do business with Uganda? Does Adidas do business with Uganda? Then they will tell you no. That's but because they know by blanding you, by calling you Adidas, they will shift their value guideline and then they tax you highly. Killing the interest, because we have young people who would like to join sports, to join the national team. And again, you see, it's like a punishment. That's why I've told you, they are using contradicting philosophies. The president needs no importers. The URA needs money more from importers. So for it, what it does, it overtaxes that small clique, which is still surviving. And we are saying that's wrong out of human decency. It's wrong. Attract more importers and get more taxes. If the president says he wants local industries, let these local industries pay taxes. But majority of the Chinese factories, they in tax holidays. They get free land, almost free power, and free everything. And even they don't pay. And on top of that, all the profits they make, they never buy anything. They never do. They expatriate all their profit back home. Yet, for us, once we go to import, you build a smaller house, it's also taxed. You take kids to school, they are also taxed. You buy a smaller car. I think a lot of things are being done not in the favor of us.
So if the Ministry of Trade came out to raise a proposal of trying to regulate your business, what are some of the things that you would front that should be considered, especially in trying to streamline how business operates?
If Ministry of Trade is to make some proposals, first of all, these manufacturers who are operating in corridors must go back to the industrial park. Then call out traders who are dealing in that particular item, meet with him, see how much they could raise. So that, because much of the things, much of the like attires, like garments made, our production here accounts for less than 5%. Last time I had it was 3%. This is Phoenix, Nightingale, and it's some others local. They contribute to less than 5%. So the other 95% has been filled by importers from Kenya, China, Dubai, like that. So let's find out what are they producing. How can we help them maximize their sales? What they are not producing, for sure, shouldn't be burdened. Like I've told you, these Uganda crane jerseys. Why do you punish somebody for importing something which is never produced here? That's one. Two, they should consider how the environment. We have expenses. Once you file your expenses without these free receipts, they tell you those are your personal expenses. You fall sick, that shop, that trader, that shop you see at Nabuga which flooded, there are some people in Masaka who depend on it. Parents depend on it. Nephews, extended families, the school fees on it. There's income tax on it. That small truck you drive to move you from here up to Chengera where you sleep or Kachiri. You do need some construction. Your health benefit, you have to treat yourself. So when these people are when they are forwarding, they don't treat our expenses as expenses. Yet we don't get any benefits from government. I think they should tax us relatively lower, bearing in mind that from health, education, feeding, housing, and extended families in the informal sector depend on that business. Your salary could be feeding many people. You are here, they call you. mom is down, dad is down, your brother got an accident, border, buy a border for your brother, P7 you're coming back, find something to do, senior four's already home, get him something to do, he's going to get spoiled here, say maybe do some welding, all this. If they consider that this money, we did
and December is also close.
Yeah.
Your brother in Kampala, so the expectations are high.
Not. They expect clothing, they expect shoes, and it's your responsibility as a human being. But all these expenses, when these policymakers, they consider it as luxurious, you chose to help your brother. So if you're filing, we are not considering that. I say, you chose to go to Mulago. Did you get a receipt? Which receipt? An e-receipt? I tell them, what do you mean? The clinic in Nansana, where I go for treatment, or CBC, doesn't give me that. And then they say, then don't put it into your filing.
As an expense.
As an expense. And I say, come on, you people, don't I feed those restaurants in Nabuga where you eat from, or they have e-receipts? So these policymakers, when they come taxing, they tax us as if they regulate the tax. I told you there are no contracts. If you don't have a contract, you can't know. I don't know what will be my rent on December. I don't know. I can't tell. Even in January. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't know what my bill will be or electricity tomorrow. There is garbage. We hear City Council pays companies to clean the city. But again, people move shop to shop collecting money. So all these. So for the Chinese, the foreigners, they should be in the industrial parks and they design a way how we meet them there. For factories, like at some countries, could the president look for rich guys? Because a factory, a poor man sharing a shop, running a factory means you marketing your product for about 5 years. Some of us, you cannot market your shirt. If you bring in importing a shirt which is not good, and it stayed in your shop for 1 month or 2, you consider yourself that this now is lost. So now how do you start a factory which you have to market your product, financing it for more than 5 years? None of us. Yet there are some rich guys in government, if the president says, no, I want a factory for water, can pick and say, you guys, I see millions on your account. Do this. I want for shoes. I see millions on your account. You do this with their facilitation. But now they are suggesting we join factories without any facilitation, without any. And then you think, maybe, but again, the world over, Kenya has many factories than us. They are importing mercilessly. Tanzania has many factories. Even the Chinese themselves import. So long as it's not produced here, or the production is not enough, why don't you people import? For last year, it's upside down. Somebody wakes up, passes a policy to please somebody, and the victims just are left to dry.
Give us your closing remarks as we wind up with this conversation, especially speaking to a trader out there who has lost hope already in business. They don't know what next. They feel devastated. They feel demotivated. They are still wondering what exactly they should do next.
Dear traders, in Kampala, we have KACITA, our umbrella. There are so many other groups which are looking for circle money from the president, which is not a bad idea. But importers, local traders, don't lose hope. We pray to God that one time somebody will feel what we've been going through. Most of our landlords were traders like us, and they know, but unfortunately, I think they choose the side of, now I'm no longer there. For Natural Channel construction and the flooding, I'm telling my traders that just be vigilant. The floods will be coming, but just be smart. Don't stock everything of yours into one shop. Try storing it and then maybe keep getting it, because the more you display, unfortunately, downtown in this informal sector, what you don't display, customers don't ask for it. We don't advertise. Your displays, your whatever. So try to display, minimize display as you keep your goods safe. And for those people in power, offices, from URA to the Prime Minister's office, the people down there have no political whatever, we have nothing. All we want is survival. Like in nature, everybody has his luck. Some of us are stuck in importation, in Chikuba, in trading, because our luck lies there. And we've tried goat rearing, we've tried cattle keeping, we've tried coffee growing. Believe me, Mr. Edrine, luck is part of us, it's part of life. So you can't, when many people are abandoned trading and went to coffee growing and they are devastated. Yet there are so many people who are thriving in that business. So don't lose hope. We are trying through KACITA as much as possible with the help of our partners like Family TV to air out our grievances without harming anybody, without causing any chaos, without damaging somebody's property. Lock down your shops, wait. I know KACITA will communicate to you after hearing from the authorities, respective authorities, and is conducting even some ground inspection with the engineers of State Council, as they were recommended by Lordship Mayor from their recent meeting yesterday, which was on 3rd, and for a quick provision of some alternative drainage as in case another disaster falls. Yes.
Thank you so much, and of course to you, our viewer. Yeah, thank you so much. The message was very, very clear, and of course, this is the only way we can activate, if I can use that word. But of course, we believe that God will touch the hearts of those that are supposed to take action in all these grievances that we've talked about. And of course, we hope for the best out of this entire arrangement. Thank you so much once again for watching us. This is Issues at Hand. We want to thank you so much. You started with us way back at 6:30 up to now. Of course, I've worked with Mumza, I've worked with SC, Patience, Liz, and of course the entire crew. And at this point, we want to wish you a blessed day. Goodbye.
Issues at Hand. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives.